Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerdarchists Dave, joined by my favorite co-conspirator in subclass scheming,
Nerdarchists Ted. Greetings, adventurers, character builders, and lovers of spooky subclasses.
Tonight we're cracking open the crypt that is the horror subclasses Unearthed Arcana. Wizards of the Coast has reanimated and revised 6 fan-favorite dark-themed subclasses from Bard to Warlock, and we're here to dissect them, compare them, and maybe scream a little about power balance.
Whether you're looking to terrify your table, min-max your shadow sorcerer, or just want to hear us geek out about spooky builds, you're in the right place.
So settle in, light a candle. Let's get unsettling with horror subclasses from Unearthed Arcana 2025. Horror subclasses, Artificer, Reanimator.
So reassemble corpses to raise the dead. Reanimators defy the laws of nature in pursuit of gruesome experiment. These grim artificers stitch together servants from desperate corpses, use foul magic to strengthen the living, and transform the art of necromancy into a terrifying science.
Oh.
You get access to spells that are automatically prepared for them when they reach certain levels. At 3rd, they're going to get False Life, Spare the Dying, and Witch Bolt. 5th, they're going to get Blindness, Deafness, and Enhance Ability. 9th is Animate Dead and Lightning Bolt. 13th is Blight and Death Ward, and then 17th, Anti-Life Shell and Raise Dead.
They're playing with the forces of life and unlife a lot here, but it's kind of weird. You have a Artificer getting Animate Dead, but I'm kind of digging it. I'm digging the flavor. So also at level 3, you get Jolt to Life. When you cast Spare the Dying, you can modify the spell so that it sends a jolt of electricity through the target, reviving it. The target regains 1 hit point, and each creature within 10-foot emanation originating from the target makes a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC, taking lightning damage equal to a d4 plus half your artificer level rounded up. On a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. You modify this spell this way a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So basically, you can be a defibrillator.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting ability. You can damage the enemies that are around your fallen foe, possibly knocking them out. But emanation is a new terminology for 5e. I don't remember seeing that before the 2024 rule set. So I guess like you hit the target and they're safe from the damage, but everybody else takes it.
That is correct, because the target also gains a hit point, right? So they not only do the spare the dying thing where it stabilizes you, but it brings you up to 1 hit point as well. It is like the poor man's version of a healing word, but it does some other things as well.
But it's a cantrip, so it's free. You can only do this a number of times. But being able to not only stabilize, heal, and do some damage with your cantrip, that's a pretty nice get, in my opinion.
Oh, sure. It also gives me vibes of not only like living defibrillator, but also Frankenstein a little bit as well.
Oh, completely. I fully believe that this particular subclass is based off of, that mentality of flesh golems and the like. You're literally stitching the dead back together. So I think that's the only way that it works for Artifice.
I feel like you could just sum it up to this is the Dr. Frankenstein subclass.
Yep, sure. That works for me. But we're not done yet. 3rd level, we also get Reanimated Companion. Using Tinker tools or another type of artisan's tools with which you have proficiency, you can take a magic action to create a Reanimated Companion. See the stat block. Through the power of necromancy and science, the companion manifests in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of you. You determine the companion's appearance. Your choices don't affect the companion's game statistics. The companion is friendly to you and your allies, and it obeys you. It lasts until you finish a long rest or until you take the magic action to dismiss it early, at which point it harmlessly collapses into a pile of viscera. It immediately drops to 0 hit points and dies, triggering its death burst trait. If you die, once you create a companion, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest or expend a spell slot to create one. You can only have one companion at a time, and you can't create one while your companion is present. In combat, the companion acts during your turn. It can move and take its reaction on its own, but the only action it can take is the dodge action unless you take a bonus action to command it to take an action. If you have the incapacitated condition, the companion acts on its own and isn't limited to the dodge action.
So you have the stat block and AC 10 plus intelligence modifier. A lot of stuff is based off of your intelligence modifier. It's got the 4 hit points plus 4 times your artificer level, which is pretty common for the companions.
Yep.
And its major stats are strength and con, and the rest are average to subpar. It has resistances to necrotic and poison, immunities to lightning, charmed, exhaustion, poison, blind sight 60 feet, understands the language you know, traits death burst. The companion explodes when it dies. Dexterity saving throw DC equal to your spell save DC. Each creature in a 10-foot emanation originating from the companion failure is 2d6 necrotic damage. It also has a lightning absorption ability. When the companion is subjected to lightning damage, it regains a number of hit points equal to the lightning damage dealt. So when you have this thing in combat, you want to be using area effect lightning spells all the time to keep it up because it doesn't have very many hit points.
You mean like your spare the dying modified to do lightning damage equal to your intelligence modifier?
I mean, that would work, but you also need an ally to fall unconscious for that to work. And you don't get that many hit points back. So
right, but I'm just saying, like, if this dude is already on the front lines and your frontline companion has gone down, you want to get that guy into place before you go ahead and spare the dying, just to pump up your reanimated companion just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a wizard to cast lightning bolt through him, then that would work very well. It does get one action that you get to use as your bonus action. This is a big part of what you're going to do with this subclass, which I have mixed feelings about. Dreadful Swipe, melee attack roll, bonus equal to your spell attack modifier. It's reach 5 foot. It does a die 4 plus your intelligence modifier. So when you first get it, you're probably looking at a die 4 plus 5. Necrotic damage, and target can't take opportunity attacks until the start of its next turn. So you get a debuff, which is kind of cool.
Level 5 strange modifications. Whenever you create a reanimated companion, it gains one of the following options of your choice. You choose when you create the companion. Arcane Conduit. You can cast spells as though you were in the companion space, but you must use your own senses once per turn. When you cast an artificer spell from the evocation or necromancy schools and deal damage while your companion is within 120 feet, you can add your intelligence modifier to 1 damage of that roll, or you can choose ferocity. You command your companion to take the dreadful swipe action. The companion can use it twice.
So it's either a buffer for your Evo and Necro spells, plus also being able to originate spells from it. So it could extend your range out a bit on them, or just allow you to not have to be up and personal with them. So I don't know if that allows you to like do touch spells through it, like a familiar.
Yeah, I mean, it basically originates from, you're the caster, but it originates from the source. So yes, you would be able to do touch spells through the companion. It seems like everything about this subclass is all about your companion.
Everything but that jolt to life ability, essentially, so far. So next up, we get at 9th level, you get improved reanimation. You experiment and alter your companion further. Whenever you create a reanimate companion, it gains one of the following options of your choice. Choose when you create the companion, bloat it. The companion becomes large or medium, your choice. Whenever it hits a large or smaller creature with its dreadful swipe action, the creature can also push up to 10 feet away from the companion. Additionally, and add your intelligence modifier to the damage dealt by the companion's death burst. It gets a little bit better. Gaunt. The companion's speed increases to 45 feet, and it gains a climb speed equal to its speed. It can climb difficult surfaces, including along ceilings, without needing to make an ability check. In addition, whenever the creature of your choice starts its turn within 10 foot emanation originating from your companion, the creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, against your spell save DC, or have the frightened condition until the start of its next turn. Moist. I know a lot of people are going to love this one, at least the name anyway. The companion gains a swim speed equal to its speed. In addition, whenever the companion is hit by an attack roll from a creature within 10 feet of it, the attacker takes acid damage equal to your intelligence modifier.
So all in all, more options, more choice, and more buff in some way, shape, or form for your companion. It's not making you any better of an artificer. It's not making you gain more things, but you've got your companion that's cooler. Level 15, Promethean Reanimation. You have mastered the science of revivification, granting you the following benefits. Facilitated revival. When you cast Revivify or Raise Dead, the cost of any material components needed for that spell is halved. That's an awesome ability. Improved Companion. The damage of your reanimated companion's death burst increases to 4d6. Necrotic damage dealt by your companion ignores resistance. Life Transfer. You can siphon the animating magic of your companion to bolster yourself. When you take damage, you can take a reaction to cause your reanimated companion to drop to 0 hit points. The companion immediately dies. Yes, this triggers the death burst. and you regain a number of hit points equal to your Artificer level, which at that point in time is a minimum of 15.
So, all right. As a 15th level capstone subclass ability, subpar. And here's why. First of all, Facilitated Revival at 15th level, generally gold is not your problem. Casting Revivify or Raise Dead and having the cost is trivial. It's a ribbon ability at this point.
You're talking about 300 versus 500, I believe. So 150 to 250 gold being saved. So unless you're casting it a lot, it's not going to save you that much gold.
Right. And now at earlier levels, it might be handy. It also requires someone to die. So that's problematic too. Improved Companion. This is okay, but really you're only getting an extra 2d6 on the damage. They have to, it's a saver suck, so they have to fail. Ignoring resistance isn't bad. And then life transfer, be able to trigger your companion as a reaction to explode on people. It's okay. Again, you're not doing that much damage. At 15th level, you could probably do better things. The only good thing is it's a reaction, and getting 15 hit points back is like a hit, maybe less than. Like all in all, like combined, it's not bad. It's just at 15th level, it's a bit lackluster.
Sure.
As a 9th level ability or the 5th level ability, it'd be awesome. All in all, thoughts on the subclass. Thematic, love the idea and the concept. In play, to me, it looks like a poor man's Battlemaster.
Okay. I can definitely see the direction there. Conceptually, like I'm not asking you to, let's on the fly rewrite this, but what would you want to be able to do with this subclass?
I'm not really sure because so much of it is just based around the reanimated companion. I guess maybe if you could make more of them, which again, that becomes problematic because of action economy and how much like summoner classes tend to annoy everybody else at the table. I mean, thematically, there's ways that they kind of get around that, where it tends to be more spell effects than actual like creatures per se. That could possibly work. Having things that aren't just about the companion would probably make this better. Like the Battlemaster can get multiple attacks around. It can use its intelligence to attack and damage when it uses magic weapons instead of the other stat you would normally use. And then Arcane Jolt tends to be a bit more versatile and probably will come up more, and it's more effective too, right? Like, boom, add 2d6 or 4d6 of damage or 2d6 or 4d6 of healing. None of this, make a save and it does nothing. So, and also like the damage is really weak for it too. A die 4 plus 2 plus your intelligence modifier. You're maxing out at 11, give it 2 attacks around, 22 points of damage max. Now, I guess it's on top of whatever you're doing as an artificer, but you don't have any of the other cool stuff that other artificers get that are going to make you in particular more effective in combat. So, and then also artificer spells tend to be more utility and buffing and debuffing. So you're gonna be focusing on that stuff more.
So given what this is, I would suggest, number one, you're right in saying let's make it less about the companion. So therefore you have to give something to the caster. Well, artificers are usually very intelligence based and what have you, and there is not a whole lot that goes on with medicine, but giving this subclass proficiency with medicine and then tossing on an expertise on top of it, I think would go a long way in making this character to me seem like, oh yeah, you really know the insides of a body, which it still doesn't help the overarching concept of 5th edition where there's not a whole lot of medicine checks that happen. But I guarantee you, if somebody rolled up at my table, I'm like, yeah, my guy's got expertise in medicine, I as a DM will feel compelled. I will find ways to make that character have to make medicine checks.
The most useful thing you could do with medicine checks in the game as it currently stands is moot because you have Jolt of Life. You have Spare the Dying. So it's like,
sure.
I can roll this die or just boop.
Yeah. Like if you've got Spare the Dying, there is no need to stabilize. But there's got to be other things that can be done with medicine. Off the top of my head, I'm not trying to go down that road, but I'm certain there's things that can be done.
No, I agree. Like that would be a cool way to go and build it out. But folks, what do you think? What would you do? How would you improve this subclass? Or maybe you just love it the way it is. Let us know down in the comments below.
Thanks for joining us in the crypt tonight. Whether you're now haunted by balance questions or inspired to write a whole new campaign arc, these horror subclasses Definitely bring the flavor.
Like what you saw, smash the like button like a Warlock pack gone wrong and subscribe so you don't miss the next time Wizards drops fresh subclasses for us to discuss. We'll see you next time. Until then, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.